Hey, welcome to the joint. Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. You guys see the thumbnail. Jaron Boots Ennis on purpose priced himself out of a matchup with Brian Norman Jr. Therefore, Brian Norman Jr. can be considered a duck. Or is it the other way around? Or is Boots just waiting for the perfect fight that shall never come? There's no such thing as perfect. It's always just opportunities. But we'll get into that and much more. But y'all know how we do. First, let's turn to. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to Boxing Fans Talk TV. As you know, I'm your host, TDT. You can refer to me as Miss T. And we're going to get into a little boots information. But first, I would like to tell everyone is looking right now, please, 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 pretty please, hit that like and share button. Hit the like button right now. Lean on it. It's for free. And subscribe if you haven't already. If you already subscribed, don't worry about it. Don't touch that dial. We already got you locked in. And if you want to get in touch with me, ask a question, whatever the case may be, you can hit me up at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. And folks, I like Cash App. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all Cash Apps, and they do go back into the channel. That's at Boxing Fans Talk TV. That's the Cash App. So until YouTube figure out how to do me right and stop carrying me, all I got is my Cash App. so so hit me up if you can. But I appreciate everything. Just remember, hit that like button. I see we got Dan Tan in the building already. What's popping, King? He said, Miss T, what it do? What it do with you? Joseph Bailey. Hey, JoJo. He said, Miss T. He said, once again, it's on. Indeed. Indeed. Y'all saw the picture. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So this is a little extra. So Brian Norman Jr. versus Derek Cuevas is on November 8th. Okay. He gonna be under the Keyshawn Davis versus Lemos. I hope I said that name right. That fight is going down in Norfolk, Virginia. I might even show up to that one. It's in Virginia, y'all. I might go to that one. He's gonna be on the undercard. Now getting into it, GK Black is in the building. What's popping, King? How you doing? How you guys doing? I hope you guys had a lovely day. Hope you had a great day at work. I hope you drinking your water. Joseph always remind me. Make sure I say that during the time that we on, Joseph. Or you can say, yes, drink your water, drink your water. I drink my water before I let myself drink anything else. And yes, it's hard to stay on target when you are around other people or people visiting or anything like that. You guys, I gotta tell you, I ate meat this summer. I did. I ate meat because I had my nephew up here. I had to cook. He's a growing boy, so I was cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it's hard, to cook all that and then don't eat it. But I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat a lot. And when I took him back home, I didn't really eat no meat. But except I tasted brisket for the first time. Lord, I've been missing out on some shit. I was like, what the hell? There's this restaurant up there in Virginia called La Mission. My mama loved this place. And I seen the brisket and I was like, what is that? Because it looked charred and it looked like, who the fuck gonna eat that? And the lady was sharpening her knife and she cut through that brisket. Oh my God. All these years, I have never in my life tasted brisket until she gave me a sample. And I've got to tell you, I missed out. Lord knows I can't make a brisket, but I've been places where people say, "You want some brisket?" And I be like, "No." And everybody be like, "Bitch, you turn that brisket." I'm like, "That shit look burnt." I was wrong. I was wrong. That shit is the bomb.com. So, but I'm back on mine, not eating meat, trying to do just pasta, fruits, and everything. I had a good breakfast this morning. I always mix any meal that I make with breakfast. And y'all know that I always talk about health and wellness and all that stuff. But please, please drink your water. You guys know the benefits of water. I used to say it all the time, but it bears repeating. When you're in a deep sleep at night, you burn 900 calories. And that's everybody, approximately 900 calories, because nothing is absolute. And when you drinking your water per day, you're helping all the things that's supposed to go down naturally happen. And it's good for you. 900 calories, man, you only need 3,600 to drop a pound. So 900 right there. And most of us during the daytime, whether you exercising or doing anything, you're going to burn another 15 to 1,600 calories just for being up. You're almost there. So then you can go to the gym and work out. That's why they tell you you only really need to work out 3 to 4 days, no more than like 45 minutes to an hour. That's healthy workout. But if you're trying to, if you're trying to cut into a deficit, like you're overboard, you need to come down, then of course that means you just gotta do a little bit more. But you'll be surprised. Just start off with just drinking water all day. And ketchup. Ketchup, believe it or not, puts a lot of weight on people. Ketchup itself. Ketchup and barbecue sauce, the two toppings that really put weight on folks. So if you get rid of those, you're gonna see a difference too. G Black said Loma took a pay cut to fight T.O. What's Boots' excuse? Yeah, that's a good question, GK. He said water all day. Indeed, Joseph. Dan Tan says seems really hard for anyone dangerous to negotiate a fight with Boots and company. That's because, listen, now I know some people will be like, oh, you're against Boots because that could be the potential fight for Crawford. No, I like Boots, but I see the error in their ways. I got a whole scenario playing in my head. Like I could see Boots from being a little kid. Cause mind you, his daddy had boxed, his brothers had boxed, and he was the little pipsqueak of the bunch. So he pretty much was in diapers boxing. That should be a phenomenal story. Where else have we heard that story? Floyd Mayweather. But there's somebody on Boost team, and I ain't gonna say it's his dad because that's actually one of the best father and son duos in boxing, considering the Bill Haneys of the world, the Mr. Schofields or whatever. I like how Boozy and Boost rapport with each other because they kind of the same, but they embellish. They put 20 on 10, and I understand in boxing it can make you feel like you got to do something extra, do something extraordinary to just get basic attention and all that stuff. And Boost needs a publicist slash manager rolled into one. He need that person. And I know y'all probably gonna say he has a publicist. Maybe he do. They ain't no good. Can I get an amen for them quiet? They are not any good. Because every move they make, it always go bad for them. And I know they got good intentions. Not terribly, terribly bad. I don't want y'all to think he a train wreck. But damn, Boots, where you want to be and how you moving, them two ain't matching up. They ain't syncing up. So something got to give. So according to Eddie Hearn, they offered Brian Norman Jr. 1.5 million, while Norman Jr. was asking for 2. So there's the rub. Now we can either believe it or we not. Let's take this. Let's take what Eddie said as let's say if this is real or something. Let's take it for the truth. Brian Norman Jr. I wasn't counting his paychecks. The rumor on the street say he used to make under 100,000 a fight. Okay, that could be true. That could be not true. I don't know. But 1.5 million would be more, right? But he's a champion. So we keep telling people to go for these belts and I'm talking to the casual. You want the boxing community to be kind of like the football community or the basketball community or other team sports where they have something that they go for grand at the end or they keep pushing for greatness. Otherwise, shit will fizzle out. If it ain't about the belts, I have to tell you, I don't like the little games and capers that the sanctioning bodies pull off on boxers all the time. We could say it's corrupt. We could say a lot of things. But in the end of the day, that's all we have. You don't throw it out. You got to make it better, right? So we got to applaud these fighters for wanting to go for these belts. That's what I'm asking all you casuals to grow the community. Applaud them by your patronage to their fights, your good words about them or whatever, their buy their merchandise. Applaud them for trying to go for the belts and be better. Okay. So if you've been working and twirling all your life to get to the point where you're a champion, then you become champion because they say that's what you got to be, then you will feel like you have leverage. Okay. And what's the difference between Brian Norman and Boots Ennis? And y'all correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. To my understanding, and I could be wrong, I believe Brian Norman fought for his belt, but Boots got his in the email. Now Boots asked for it. That don't mean Boots is a slouch, but he did get emailed that one belt he has. So the rumor is also that Boots was Eddie Hearn is going to pay Boots some $5 million plus or minus 100,000 or something. I don't know. So you're going to pay Boots, who has never won anything legitimately, in boxing. I'm talking about the trinkets you can win in boxing. I ain't talking about his amateur career, trophies and accolades and stuff like that. Sure, he has a lot of that. But I'm talking about winning these belts. He has never won anything. Not lineal champion, not ring, not nothing. He gets a belt through email. He's a champion. So he must comport himself like a champion. He signs with Eddie Hearn, and I told y'all, when you sign with Eddie Hearn, I give him this. You might not be a well-known fighter after the fact, but you will become a millionaire because he pays pretty good. $5 million is a good payday to somebody who's never done nothing big in boxing yet. Not because he can't. He just hasn't had that opportunity. Well, he has had the opportunity. Let me correct myself. But it just hasn't happened yet, right? Not that it can't happen. So Boost is going to get paid $5 million. And Brian Norman Jr., who is an equal champion as he is, they both professional fighters. They both have championship belts. they both are not household names. They're not really worldly known. And Brian Norman Jr. wants 2 million and Boots getting 5. But Eddie Hearn would rather walk away, even though they only asking for 500 extra $1,000 that we know damn well Eddie, Boots, all of them got. I don't know if Boots got it personally, but I'm just saying Matchroom has it. And you'd rather walk away than to solve this problem that Boots Ennis and team has, and that's securing a worthwhile fight. On every day that passes is a day that passes. Boots, this is a timing thing in boxing because you young guys ain't gonna stay young forever. You better maximize what you can maximize while you can. Dan Tan said Norman Sr. was on Mark Nash last night. He said the offer was less than 1 million and Boots would have made at least 4 times more. See? None of us really gonna know the exact truth unless both of them standing there like if can you see Brian Norman Sr. and Jr. and then you see Boots and Bozy all together talking it over and they calling each other out on stuff, you'll see who lying then. Like get on the show, go to $1 million worth of game and talk about it. And we can see who lying and who not. I believe you, Dan Tan. I believe if that's what Brian said, that's what he said. We gotta go by that. But I'm kind of in the ballpark. You won't get this man whatever he asking for. But you're gonna pay Boots 4 times as much. But they equal. Y'all gotta make that make sense. So if not, Brian Norman Jr. is just asking for equal pay, fairness, or whatever, Brian knows he can't get exactly what Boots get. Let's say Boots got 5 and Brian got 2, or if Brian got 3. I mean, Boots, that's his Eddie Hearn is his promoter. So it's understandable. I'm sure Brian Norman and all them would be like, okay. But at what point do you exercise your leverage, or execute your leverage in your career? Do he wait till Boots beat him and then say, oh, I fought Boots, I want a $2 million pay period? Or do he exercise it right now? Hey, Boots, you haven't beaten me. We haven't met. I'm a champion. You a champion. Give me at least 2 million. I don't know. Or do some feel Eddie should have up the amount to meet the requirement that Brian Norman and his dad wanted? Should Eddie just, if it was just an extra 500,000, Eddie Hearn is splitting hairs. You fucking up boxing. You already pay your boxers pretty good money, but then you're gonna hold tight on that. You're gonna split hairs over something that's maybe as small as 500,000. Small to Eddie, not to us. Oh, I think I'm gonna fuck this name up. Yahoo da. Yahuda. Welcome to the welcome to the building. What's popping with you, King? I think. He said, agreed. Boots has fought no one and has the same email belt as Brian Norman. Oh, Brian didn't fight for it? Eddie Hearn is a disingenuous hypocrite. And that's the problem, y'all. So when I wrote in my thumbnail, Jaron Boots Ennis on purpose priced himself out of a matchup with Norman Jr., it could go both ways. Sometimes it's a price out. Either way, it's a price out. Whether you're trying to ask for too much, it's a price out when they trying to give you too little. Oh, that's my home girl. Hold on. Ain't no telling what she gonna say. What's up, girl? I'm on the show. I'm on the show. Oh, call me back. You on the show too? Say hey. No. I can't be on the show. Why you can't be? It's not a good time. It's not a good time for me to be on the show. Oh, okay. I'm gonna call you back. Okay. All right. Bye bye. Whew. Well, I definitely won't be long. Friend is in need. Um, but that's what I think is going on. I think it was Boots and them always pricing themselves out. Now Boots and them should understand. And you can't say I just leave it to edit. That shit ain't working no more. We done had enough of that with Spence and Crawford era. Crawford said, I don't, he said, I'm not even talking to Spence. He don't even come to the meetings or anything. Spence was leaving it up to PBC and Al Heyman. And y'all know most of us out here rode them for that because it's like you grown, you say you your own boss, but you're not handling your own affairs. This is $1 million transactions and you're not at the table. So the same thing I'm gonna say with Boots. You can't just walk away. I know you know what they trying to pay you because that's why you're agreeing to have the fight. But you know what they trying to do to the other person and you didn't like it when it's done to you. So why are you continuing the tradition? Maybe you don't want to fight Brian Norman Jr. Maybe you want an easy touch, and then y'all know he's due to fight. I cannot say. I'm gonna call him Chimichanga for lack of knowing how to say his name, but he's gonna fight him again. He just fought him 19 months ago. But they gonna be fighting again, and they got like less than 30 days to make that fight happen because he is the mandatory for the IBF, and Boots got to face him. And Boots act like, oh, woe is me. I don't want to fight him, but you had an opportunity. This is what I mean. I don't understand about Boots Ennis. He has opportunities fly across his desk all the time. They don't like certain treatment, but they turn around and they giving the treatment. Like, and somebody got to stop the train, y'all. Somebody got to stop the train. We can't keep saying, well, all the greats that Floyd did what he did. Floyd was absolutely him. You guys are not Floyd. Like, we know Floyd is selfish. Somebody could say he's selfish, egotistical, all about himself, scandalous. We can say all that shit about Floyd, right? But that is uniquely how he is. I don't look at Boots and say the same shit. You're not egotistical too much, or you're not a bad person, or this, that, and the other. So don't try to be one. Don't do going forward what folks was doing to you in the past that you did not like. Change the narrative. Break the generational curse. You know what I'm saying? But you pricing yourself out. And then, like, going back to the opportunity, what I mean by that, you could have, I don't think, if it was as much as 500,000, maybe even $1 million, I don't think that was too much to ask for, me personally. But I'm not them; it's up to them. But definitely, Boost Ennis missed an opportunity to request permission to fight someone else other than Chimichanga. He let that day come and go and didn't put a request in. But now he's going to tell all of us in the boxing world how he don't really want to do that fight. It's unfortunate. Like, woe is me. No, it's what you wanted. It's what you wanted. And you can't say, well, even if I put in the request, they weren't going to honor it. We don't know. Let me tell y'all about life. The answer is no if you never ask. So the worst thing you could do is never open your mouth. Because we also know a closed mouth don't get fed too. You know that saying. So it's already no. What happens if you ask? You got a 50-50 chance. So you could have requested from the IBF another opponent. Hey, I know he my mandatory, but can I fight somebody else? and then after that come back to him? Is that possible? You didn't even try. Didn't even open his mouth. Didn't even try. And y'all in the boxing community, especially you casuals, that means something. Look how easily he's going to lie to y'all. And I hope they do watch this show and be like, damn, Miss T got our number. Don't say that. Cause I'm thinking Boots gonna show come out there and say, woe is me. I didn't want to fight Chimichunga. They making me, I gotta fight my mandatory. Guys, I gotta fight my mandatory. Like his hands is tied. You didn't even try. So that tells me you wanted to fight Chimichunga. And like I said, Eddie Hearn gonna pay him some good money to do just that. That's like days off. You know, these boxers train all the time, all day, every day, in some form of fashion. If you get in the ring with an easy touch, that's a day off. Hold on. Let me see. Damn, this thing moving fast. GK Black said, as if Boots is a star already, barely known more than Norman, and still ain't had a big fight. Indeed, that's why I wanted to ask you guys. Do you think this is a wise decision? Now, most people say get rid of your pops because he fucking it up. I don't think it's that with them. I actually like the rapport that Boots and his dad got over a lot of other people and their dads in boxing. I actually like that one, but I don't think it was is that. I think whoever is, and they ain't got to tell the world, but whoever making the decisions, the final decisions as far as his career, or where to go, who to fight under, who to fight next, you suck. You suck. And y'all need to get better because you expose them every time. Like it's just crazy. Dan Tan, damn, that was that was loud. What was loud? GK Black said the WBO even stepped in to get the Bud Porter fight done and change the purse percentages. Yeah, because Boots didn't want to do it. Pound for pound, sports entertainment is in the building. What's popping? He said, salute. Uh, Yahuda. He said, you pronounced it correctly 100%. Yahuda. Always enjoy your show and passion for the sport of boxing and your support of my favorite fighter of all time, Terrence Bud Crawford. Indeed. Thank you. Uh GK Black said Boots and his team believe in his own hype. They they buying up their press clippings, aren't they? Something got to shake to get these fighters to get his name out there. He got to stop moving like he's moving. It is not advantageous to him. And this is me sincerely saying this, like in a sense to help. Sometimes you got to take somebody. I don't think I'm know everything. I don't, but I can see this clearly. You guys are trying your best to genuinely move his career ahead, and you're trying your best to be at the right place at the right time, and your luck is not good. And when it consistently don't be good like that, then you have to stop and take stock and say, whoever's making these decisions, they suck at it, and find somebody else to find somebody else that can actually visualize the decisions you may or may not make. Like for me, when I make a decision, let me say something simple like this. If I buy a car, right, I look at that car and I can like that car a lot. And I look at it and I squinch my eyes. Then I go further. Then I take pictures every angle. I also get commentary from the peanut gallery. Hey, what you think of this car? From the family, from whomever. But I stop and I say, the before I make my final decision on purchasing whatever car, I ask myself, are you gonna like this car in 5 years? Because I know me and I know how I mature and I know what I gravitate towards as I get older. And I can almost guesstimate how I'm gonna be, mentally. or what I'll be into 5 years from now. So I look at it, and I don't do it as much now because I think I'm just in that zone. But like when I was younger, I used to do that all the time. Now I know y'all say a car. That's how you even have that assessment on just a car. You what you had 1 or 2 cars. Motherfucker, I done had like 13, 14 cars. I was at one point, I couldn't, I would not keep a car past 2 years. And I know people say, "Oh, you lose the money because the first couple of years is interest." What I care? It was about me. That was part of my flyness. That was part of me being fly. What type of car? I had some nice cars, and every couple of years I re up. Tell my dad, and my dad told me, I think, man, I like how he parent as an adult. My dad, he hardly says anything. He tell you what he think, and that's it. He lets you go ahead and do you, fall on your face or whatever. As long as you ain't saying nothing crazy like this, could compromise your health or safety. But he looked at me when I bought my that car. I'm cruising over there to my dad. And I'm like, I'm chilling, right? I think I'm doing something. He said, "If you don't stop buying cars, you buy another motherfucking car." He said, "You need to be uh trying to get a house." I was in my early 30s. I was like, "What, daddy?" And you know how you are with your parents. You don't listen. I'm like, "You don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm doing." And I might have bought a couple of cars after that, but that shit never left my head. Why? Because my daddy hardly ever say anything to us as a young adults. He let us make our decisions. So for him to say something, he ain't gonna say nothing that ain't important and that he don't mean. So I gotta pay more attention to it. Like, and it just kept ringing in my head, ringing in my head. And I finally got it like 3 years later. And I was like, but right before I was leaving Hawaii, I said, I gotta give me a house. And that's when it hit me. But and I wound up getting a house. But up until that point, I just kept buying cars, kept buying cars. And before I would pick a car, I said, what it's gonna look like 5 years from now? Am I gonna look silly? Because right now I'm 21. And am I gonna look silly, 5 years from now when I'm 26? Because I'm gonna be on some old shit, some other grown lady shit at 26. Then am I gonna look silly at 30, whatever the case. And that's how I made my choice. And to me, that's the type of person that Boost Ennis desperately needs on his team. Somebody who can visualize the decisions that he may or may not make, who can weigh the pros and cons really, really well, and then make a decision, make the best of the two evils, or the three evils, or the four evils of opportunities or decisions that he has on the table for him. Because whoever's doing that right now, you suck. You suck. And all y'all do is expose him. And it may not be exactly what we say, but it ain't far from it. Boost, you looking like the person who's ducking. Like it's just unfathomable that somebody who's never accomplished nothing huge in life, that everybody gonna be scared to fight you. When were you ever the boogeyman? So whose idea is to make that narrative for somebody who was never the boogeyman? That don't make sense. Everybody's scared to fight who? GK Black said Boost Instinct. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, they eating their own press clippings. Boxing Wizard is in the building. Was Papa King? Do y'all do me a favor, all you guys that just came in? I love you, love you, love you. Can you lean in on that like button for us, sister? Appreciate you. Boxing Wizard, welcome to the building, King. He said it's Norman's job to accept the offer. It's not nobody's job to accept or not accept. It's their job to negotiate and find a good deal that's suited for them. You said that like, and I might be wrong, Boxing Wizard. You said that it's Norman's job to accept the offer. You said it like Norman got to accept the offer. He don't have to. He don't have to at all. But if he's negotiating, meet him halfway. Because I'm gonna give y'all the pros and cons for them, in a minute. Boxing Wizard said this isn't our first rodeo. Boxing Wizard, you must be Team Boots. Y'all suck over there. He said this happens a lot. Pound for pound sports entertainment is in the building was popping king. I think, I already caught you early. He says unification or move to 154 for Boots. That's it. Yeah. It got a lot to do with how they make their moves and the things that they do. You're not gonna always hit the right mark. You're not gonna always all each and every one of us can misstep, pick something wrong, make the wrong move. We all can, but to consistently be on the wrong side of the equation, as Boots seem like he always is, I don't get it. What gives? He said it's on Norman to accept. You believe that too? He said Boots isn't going to 54. He not. Not willingly, but that's a big frame. Y'all see what I see. Boots ain't no little frame dude. How long y'all think that boy gonna be staying at 147 before he start looking sickly? That's a big guy. Boxing Wizard said he'll get smoked. Yeah, a lot. We was talking about that the other days. A lot of these boxers don't want to fight in the right weight class because they can't. They really not that great, but they can beat anybody. Can beat up on small people. Boxing Wizard said salute. He said then don't accept it and go make 300K on Keyshawn's undercard. He may. He may. I mean, sometimes you gotta take less to get more. He said they're offering you more than 3 times that. That's a good offer. That's what everybody said. We just had somebody in here say the numbers that I was talking about, which I got off the articles. It wasn't quite that. We don't exactly know the numbers. What we can guesstimate is that Boost was going to get 4 times as much to fight Norman as Norman would to fight him. That I don't understand. I understood that Earl Spence got more than Terrence Crawford when they met, even though we all knew what was going to happen. We knew Earl wasn't better than Terrence, but I'm using this as an example. Terrence is my go-to, as well as Floyd, as examples in boxing. So we knew that Earl supposed to and should have got way more than Terrence when they met up. But there's a reason. Earl was 3-time unified champion. Terrence was 1-time champion at 147. And Earl was 3 times unified. Who should get more? Of course, that would be Earl Spence. Now look at Boots and Brian Norman Jr. Y'all say he got his belt through the email too. 2 email champions. They not household names. They not pay-per-view stars. They don't sell out arenas. They're not worldly known. But one should get paid one thing, and the other person should get paid 4 times as much. Make it make sense. Brian Norman and his father said, "Look, if you ain't gonna treat us fair, we're not going for that. You and my son could make history. Y'all can make a good little fight. You know what I'm saying? And one of y'all will finally win a belt off the other in the trenches. But me and you the same. What's the difference between them two? They the same. So how you gonna get 4 times as much?" And they'll say, "Well, Eddie Hearn's the promoter, he's putting it on." Okay, but that what Eddie's supposed to do. So like when Boots have to fight Chimichanga, can Boots get 5 million and Chimichanga get 500,000 or 1 million? Because that fight is going to purse bid if they don't come up with a deal. And then what you run the risk of is that nobody picks up the fight because nobody wants to fight. That's what you run the risk of if they go to purse bid. Who's gonna run for the border to get that fight? Oh shit. Boots Ennis and Chimichanga. Let me get my dibs in now. Let me get my plane tickets. Let me put my leave at work now. Nobody's gonna do that. And they both will probably get real low numbers. But Eddie, if you splitting hairs over 500,000, just pay the man. I mean, you still paying Boots more. Just pay the man. Boxing would have said Boots just had his own show. What in the ballroom? He said Boots is the show. Is he the show in the ballroom? Norman is an undercard fighter. So is Boots. He ain't really. I know he's headline, but no, he won't even. He won't headline on the level of a Lomachenko. Now Lomachenko never really was a pay per view star because he never really did pay per view. But Lomachenko could sell out arena. I mean, he could sell it out. Like people tuned in wherever when Lomo got in the ring, motherfucking eyes was on Lomo. Like, they was on hit whatever fight he was fighting. Boost ain't got that kind of clout. It's that Boost being signed to Matchroom doesn't make sense. Well, if I don't know. I don't know if that was a good move. I can't say either way. He was gonna sign to somebody. However, if Eddie makes him a millionaire, I guess it made sense to Boost. That's all I can say. I don't know if that would have been a move I would have made. Whatever. If y'all say PBC, I don't think PBC is holding it down like they used to. He said you're making up your own. How am I making up my own narratives? This is boxing. We see all this all the time. Just because you see it all the time, don't make it right. You got to be willing to change generational curses. Boost is finding himself in a predicament where he cannot get a fight. This is what he's telling the public. Miss T didn't tell y'all that. Boost is telling y'all that. I can't get no fights. No worthwhile fights anyway. I can't get nobody to fight me. Now, how do you suggest to get out that slump? What's your bright idea? Since I'm making up narrative. I'm not making up nothing. I'm going by what they say. Then he said, look at any other fighter who won and upset trying to fight the biggest name at that weight class. Who is the big name between Boots and Norman Jr.? Please enlighten us. Enlighten us all. The A side sends the offer. It's on the B side. Dude, that now you're making up narratives. It has never been that. The A side can send an offer. We have had time. It's not absolute. You have had times when a B side could send an offer. Whoever got the money and want the money, send an offer. If most fighters are attached to a promoter or two, whoever got the money, right? Number one. Number two, what you never gonna say with a straight face is that fighters don't negotiate. That an offer is sent and that's it. And that's it. That's all. That's how fights work. I sent an offer. That's it. That's all. Yes or no. What you gonna do? Moving on. That's not how it works. There's always count and counterpoint. Count and counterpoint. There's always negotiation. So, for the casuals out there listening, it's not that simple. It's not the A side send an offer. Now, who gets to be the A side? Based on what? Pray tell. I'm sorry, y'all. My throat is itchy today. I think it's allergies. He says based on sales. Neither one of them make great sales. Boost is the sign fighter and the draw. He signed, but I'm sure Norman is signed to somebody, right? I don't know who, but isn't he signed to somebody? And Boost is the draw because you said it. What metric are you going to show or tell us about that puts Boots as the A side. Please enlighten me. This is a business, not a free handout. Y'all men love to say that, but y'all don't be knowing shit about business. Y'all love to say that as if being just you being a man saying that, because that's how I take it. I don't know why. Like, since I've been doing this, that's what you guys always go to. It's a business, Miss T. Like, I don't know that. Just because you a man, you don't have a monopoly on that or that understanding. I can understand very well that it's a business, and you know what I said was true. And I'm not trying to fuss at you. You know what I said is true. Yeah, it's a business. That means you negotiate. People negotiate in businesses. It's not a that's it, that's all. I'm the big dog, so I get to call the shots. That ain't how business works. That is not, and that's what you're telling us. Because you know you're wrong on that one. Um, he said you're taking it all. I'm not taking it personal. Dude, I'm talking to you like anybody else would talk to you if you was on anybody else show. I just because I'm not gonna be like, well, boxing wizard, it's not quite like that. You know, that's not how I talk. I'm really not taking it personal. But I just I find it weird, like you just catching it, I guess. Because I find it weird that most of you guys love to tell me Miss T is a business, as if I don't know. But how you sound, you don't sound like you understand business. You don't. I just dropped the link. You can clarify or whatever. I'm not taking it personal. I'm taking it personal about Boots. I don't dislike Boots. Boots and Norman don't randomly become worth the same amount of money. Nobody says they will. What I'm saying simply, them two are not hot tickets. They are not hot commodities. They have not reached that level yet. They are not pay per view stars, and neither one sells out arenas. They are not household names. They both got the belt the same way. They both champions, but they both got their belts the same way. Now, how do you distinguish between the two? And it got to be something more than popularity. Because to you, Boots is the draw because he's popular to you. To somebody who likes Brian Norman Jr., could say he's the draw. How do you distinguish it? What I'm saying is, if Eddie got the money he want to put on the show, yeah, the man with the money, pretty much in the driver's seat. However, if it's really the case, something the numbers are disparaging, like Boost getting 5 million, which I never even said he shouldn't. I'm cool with that. I Like I said, we talked about this in other days. I said one thing about Eddie, he gonna make you a millionaire, and that's good for Boots. So if Boots getting 5 million, and y'all say, "Oh, Norman, you should get 1.5," but Norman is looking at it probably how I'm looking at it, or like anybody could look at it. Wait a minute, player. We are on the same level. It really don't matter if you was boxing longer than me, or if you're older than me, or whatever. None of that matters because you're not a pay-per-view star. You're not a household name. You don't sell out arenas. You're a champion just like I'm a champion. And we both got our belts in the mail. So how is you getting 4 times as much as me? That's cool. You can get your 4 times as much, but we at least want this much. What is wrong with that? It's called negotiation. Boost has been built for years. So was Norman. All of them were. All of them were. You can go to boxing gyms all over the world and all in this country. Let's stay with this country. And you will see 8-year old, 9-year old, 10-year old, 11-year old boys built for years. Same thing. Like I told you in the beginning, I said Boost probably have a remarkable, even more remarkable story because his dad, I think, boxed, his two older brothers boxed, and Boost been following behind them in Pampers, kind of like what Floyd Sr. said about Floyd Jr. He been raising them. He grabbed his nuts, but he y'all know what he meant. He said since he was a baby in the crib, he been practicing and training his boy for boxing. So that does matter. But in the end of the day, you talking about levels. You're talking about what's fair. Boots is in a slump. Don't nobody want to fight him. According to them, not Miss T. Don't nobody want to fight him, right? Here you have an opportunity to fight a good up and coming fighter, just like yourself, a good prospect or whatever. You could even say Boots a contender. Maybe that's how you separate them. But they on the same level right now. And if the guy is asking for X amount, which is still way lower than what you're getting, what's the problem? Do you want to come out the slump or not? Because all you got to do is pay this man. He ain't asking, to my knowledge, for $5-10 million. That's all you got to do is pay this man. But you quickly say, no, but look what you come out and say to the public. Oh, they declined. They don't want to fight us. That's not what they said. That's misleading. And it's gonna come out to bite y'all in the ass. I'm sure you boxing wizard, you probably wanna on Boost team or something. Boxing film is in the building. What's Papa King? He said he ducked the highest payday of his life and the unification bout. Who? Which one? Be more specific. Boxing wizard said, how do you tell a boxer how much they need to get paid? That's what y'all are doing. That's what y'all are doing when you say Boots made the offer, just his own Norman to just accept it. Aren't you telling him what to get paid? I'm saying I support Norman's right to negotiate. That's all he did. But before you even try to negotiate, you run to the media to let them know, hey, dude declined. He ain't want to fight me. And that wasn't true. That just wasn't true. I don't see how nobody understands this. If him trying to negotiate means to you, he don't want the fight, he declining, then that's what it means to you. But when you come out and talk to the public, don't mislead the public like that, because everybody know what negotiation means. And it don't mean I decline. It means, hey, come on, I got a better offer. How about this? Then you come back, Boo, said, nah, we ain't with that. Then y'all can have a stalemate. But you didn't even try to negotiate. You just said Boost doesn't deserve the money he is. Nigga, I know you can't hear now. Cause I never said he don't deserve the money. I ain't even say, look, if I said then I guess I can't hear. Cause I ain't never stood up here and be thinking that Boost don't deserve the money. I'm not even tripping about the 5 million. I did a show the other day talking about how Boost gonna come up in money just fucking with Eddie Hearn and how good that was for him. I ain't never on team anybody that feel like a fighter shouldn't make their money. I'm just saying keep it 100. Keep it 100. You're in the slump. Let me read down actually the pros and cons. Well, probably more so the cons. Boots can't get an opponent. He can't get a fight. He can't get a fight with somebody worthwhile, right? He can't get it. This is what he's telling us. He can't get the fight. So if you having trouble by yourself before you was signed to Eddie Hearn, and now with Eddie Hearn, you got the same problem. You can't get the fight. So some got to give, right? Some got to give. Or you just stay in that slump. What you going to do? Something got to give. The point is to get him out there, get him seen, get him active, so he can become a draw. He can't become a draw negotiating at the negotiating table. He can't become a draw if he not in the ring and people not patronizing to see him. So we got to get him out this slump. Number 2, he is known as an email champion, whether people say it to his face or not. That's what they gonna feel. No harm and disrespect. Fighters these days are getting their belts like that because we had a rash of undisputed champions or other people dropping their belts, moving up. So the next fighter by default is getting the belt. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I mean, it comes with a little teasing, but you got, you're a grown man, you can handle that. If he fights Norman Jr., both of them have belts. Whether however they got their belts, they both can either whichever one that will win could be one step closer to becoming undisputed, which we all know that's what they have claimed that they would like to happen in their career. Have Boost not expressed that he wants to be undisputed? He want to be the greatest. Does Brian Norman Jr. not express that's what he want? Well, after them two meet up, this will bring them one step closer. And Boost, to be honest, in my opinion, this is opinion based. You ain't got long in 147. I'm looking at your body frame. I don't see him in his early 30s, late 20s being able to shrink down to 147. I just don't see it. He may shock us all, but if the past dictates the future, most of the time we know that these men are gonna fill out. And Boost is not a little guy. He's not a little guy. He's gonna fill out. Nature gonna take its course. So you're gonna keep hanging around. I ain't got nobody to fight. Won't nobody fight me. Oh, everybody's scared of me. You're gonna keep doing that, or you're gonna compromise, and get the thing popping. Because as you will see, and when you look at all the other fighters, once they have arrived, it's easy peasy. It's not easy to stay on top, but it's easy peasy that once you have arrived, like look at Tank, you was not paying him no chump change. And that was a time when Tank won't getting over $2 million to fight. Not at all. But when him and Ryan met up, for whatever reason, Ryan knew that it was gonna be a golden ticket right there. Tank must have knew too. And they met up and they made lemonade. No matter who won, sorry, no matter who won, they made lemonade out of that lemon bag of lemons. They sure did. Because what you gonna pay Tank? I mean, can you come and Tank for anything under 5 million? You gotta go for 10 at least. I would say you gotta go for 15 at least. But once he has arrived, he has arrived. And Tank is one of them people that him and Han, one minute he is about the legacy, next time, you don't really know. He's just paying to see him. But once he got it his way, once he established himself, which Bruce hasn't, Norman Jr. hasn't, then you can act froggy. But those his barriers. Nobody want to fight him. He's not known, not a household name. He's an email champ, and he just gotta get in the ring with somebody who's a champ to get closer to securing his dream. Or he's gonna find himself staying in 147 too long and have to move up with nothing but the email belt that he already got now. That's what's gonna happen. Norman Jr. Should he just take the money? I can't answer that for him. They have a problem with that. I'm only reporting the news. I can't say he should just take it. But if he wants, he can look at it like if it's true that he made under 100,000 in his last fight, then 1.5 million would be a lot. So a lot of people could look at that and say, nigga, you are bugging. That's way more than you ever had. You should really jump on that. And he may look at it like, wait a minute, y'all gonna pay Boost 5 million, but you gonna pay me $1.5 million, and we the same. And it's gonna be both of us. It's gonna be the work that I'm doing that made me the worthwhile fighter I am. That's why they picked us. You gotta come better than 1.5. I think I at least need 2. And if that is the case, come on, Eddie. I would look at it like this. It solved both sides equation. It solved the problem. But that's on them, what they want to spend and how they want to do it. What arena has Norman sold out? He's about to fight on Keyshawn Undercon, someone who is still a prospect. Boxing film. If you was listening, I never said. I keep saying that both of them have sold shit out, and I keep saying that both of them are not household names, and I keep saying that both of them are not pay per view stars. So I don't know if you got the impression that I'm trying to say Norman got it better than Boots. They the same. It don't matter how if Boots was fighting longer or Norman. I don't know how old Norman is, but if Boots been fighting longer, none of that matters. They are the same. They're on the same level right there in their careers. They the same. Boxing Wizard said, "That's what I'm saying." Y'all not saying much. He said Boxing Wizard dude was a undercard fighter. Boots pretty much is too. Boxing Wizard said if he loses his next fight, everyone will forget about him. I don't know. I don't know. We ain't forgetting about Abdullah Mason and we ain't forgetting about Schofield. And I already see where Schofield need to tighten up on some of his tactics and his defense. But Abdullah Mason, boy, that motherfucker. I'm a fan. I'm a fan from what I seen. But you know what? They too not upper echelon fighters. Not yet. In due time. He said he is a nobody. That's y'all problem. Y'all call people nobodies. Boost more popular to y'all. To a lot of people, you're not. Boost lose some of his charisma or his ability to attract fans when he mislead the public. And he don't have to do it. He that good. He don't have to do it. But he doing it. And once you do it once, you gonna always keep doing it. Because he misled. You want to call it a lie? I call it a lie, but I'm gonna be nice and say mislead. He misled the public about the whole situation, about him having two opportunities to face Crawford. He misled the public, and he's still standing on it. Why? When we know the truth, what we gonna believe? Our lying eyes? Yeah, I'm gonna believe my lying eyes because I see it. Motherfucking the WBO president don't have to lie about that. He told about Virgil Ortiz. See, everybody can lie, but the truth gonna come out. He said, "Boxing Wizard, you guys just making shit up. She's just making stuff up. That's what you doing. She's. I'm new to boxing. Okay, if you say so. If you say so. Been here for a minute. Just repeating stuff she heard from other people. Ooh, the hate is strong with these ones. I mean, go back and tell Boots. Go back to the Philly and tell your boy." Boxing fans said you tripping. Nah, y'all tripping. Bro, don't act like you know boxing when you're a fraud. I don't know who is bro. My name is Miss T. It says stop it. Keep it a buck. I'm keeping it a buck. Y'all sound silly. Who you talking to? I don't know who y'all fans. Peace and blessing, Miss T. What's up, Jason Williams? And peace to everyone. Uh, they said I agree. He needs names and good fights, and that costs money. Um, Again, I agree. Hanging around at smaller weight classes can destroy a fighter. Yeah, Jason. I mean, like I'm just speaking the truth. We got a couple people in here, Jason, that don't like to hear the truth. I mean, they must be team Boots on this team or something. I have not put down either one of these fighters. I'm telling the truth when I say Boots and team mislead the public, and y'all do. That's a nice way to say it. Another way to say it straight up would be to lie. They do lie to the public. They lied to the public to the point that the people they lying about got to come out and correct them. So if you got a problem with us characterizing him as lying or misleading, then go talk to the people that they're misleading the public about or lying on. Brian Norman Jr. and Senior have both said they did not decline the fight with Boots. Now, how you gonna put out something, Boots and team, that they declined the fight when that didn't happen? According to the other side, they said that didn't happen. If it's about the money, I ain't mad at Boots for making 5 million to fight him. Again, I can't say this enough. We was just talking about how Boots gonna have a come up because I compared it to Andre. Andre was a great fighter. Boo was a great fighter and should have been more higher and well known than he was. And he was the goods, and Eddie knew it. But Eddie could not secure him a fight. And Eddie got to a point and said, "Man, I'm just gonna let you go because I can't do nothing with you. Nobody's fighting you. You can't get no fights." And he was a champion for a minute, but he was not a household name. But he got to become a millionaire under Eddie. If he had the fate that he has, the fate that he actually had, him not being a household name, not being able to secure fights and stuff. And had he been with somebody like Golden Boy, Top Rank, or PBC, they wouldn't have paid him shit. And that's the difference to me between Eddie Hearn and a lot of these other promoters. But Eddie Hearn a little weasel too. He a crab in the bucket too. He got his faults, but he do pay his fighters. Tevin Farmer, not a household name. But I bet you Tevin would lace them gloves up quick for Eddie Hearn if he asked him to, because Eddie Hearn will pay you. So that's good for Boots. At least for all his hard work, he should get paid. That's all I've ever said. But if he gonna get 5 million to face the mirror, a guy in the same predicament, same level as him, and y'all can't get off of 500,000 to give to the other guy, that you can't come back and say that person turned down the fight and nobody want to fight you, and then they gonna come out and say, "Well, y'all always lowballing your opponents, or whatever," and okay, it's over money. So then look at the pros and cons. Boost ain't going nowhere. He's going nowhere fast because ain't nobody thinking about fighting him. The big names ain't trying to fight him, and it's not because they scared. He don't bring nothing to the table. When they took the fucking IBF belt from Terrence, who barely held it for like a couple of months, even though the IBF knew that for months that him and Spence was gonna fight. So now they want to get up on Terrence nuts and just rip the damn belt from him, give it to Boots. And then Boots said, "If you want it back," like you think you did something. If you want it back, come fight for undisputed. Nigga, he just became undisputed. That shit is hard to come by. And when people get it, they ain't trying to repeat. What is it Tyson about fighting you? That's like, oh, okay, you beat Earl, but fight Boots. Oh, okay, you beat Boots. Now fight Sandy Honest. Oh, okay. If Bud wanted to fight all of them, he could have stayed in the same division and just defended the undisputed. But he didn't. I don't blame once IBF pulled that move, I don't blame Bud. But if IBF going by their rules, they going by their rules. It come with the territory. Boost is not gonna get a Terrence fight. He's not gonna get an Earl Spence fight. If he really want to get in Terrence's face, Terrence told him how to do it. Touch his pride, move up to 154. Shut up, be humble, move up to 154, get a belt, or go try to challenge him for the belt. Become a mandatory. But you'll have to fight some other folks to get in position. But the shut up, be humble is on deck. I'm just saying, if me and you was competing for a job, we about the same age. We got over 10 years experience in that field. We both got the same degree. We both did the same amount of traveling. You have to look for something to distinguish what is the difference. The difference in boxing could be, well, Eddie Hearn will pay for the fight. He's supporting Boots. Whereas whoever's Norman with, they not really pressed to pay for whatever for them. But Eddie Hearn is trying to do Boots a solid. But excuse me for feeling like Brian Norman Jr. has the absolute right to feel just as entitled. Hey, I'm just like you. We are the same, on the same level. Can you pay me just a little bit? Can I get a little bit more scratch? Can you meet my standard? And then we got to fight. But Boost don't want to do that. Bosley maybe don't want to do that. Or is that Eddie making that decision? They don't want to do that. Whoever making the decision, that's why I say y'all suck. Y'all suck. Y'all need to get somebody over there who's a publicist slash manager or just that can visualize the future. Because all the time when y'all make moves, y'all box yourself in the corner. Boost is gonna be an old man sitting in 147, and ain't nobody gonna fight him. I don't see 147 getting hot right now. Boost ain't enough to make that division hot. And then y'all playing footsies and everything over there. So Boost, you gotta move up. But you may want to, you may not. But you said you want to be undisputed. I remember when Tank was at 130, he got a belt. He got a belt at 135. He got a belt at 140. And then they told him after the Pitbull fight, he had to pick a belt, pick which division he wanted to be in. He picked 135. I remember him being at 130, and I said, get undisputed while you can. It don't come around often. Just get it on your legacy because you can. And people want to see you fight all the time. He moved right up. But hey, it was his decision. To each his own. Said the same thing about Shakur Stevens when he was at 130. But he he didn't even make weight for a fight and lost his belts. Like, come on, man. These are when y'all talk about opportunities, those are opportunities that you be missing. Even when you do something, you lose something like Shakur losing his belts on the scale. That was a missed opportunity to go up to another weight class as a champion. Missed opportunity. So you ain't gonna get the big bucks and you ain't gonna get the big fights. Cause you just a scrub going up there. Hey, what makes you spectacular? Missed opportunity. Boots Ennis getting out of line to fight because he rather Earl. Hey, you had a good argument. Nobody begrudged you for it. Earl had 3 belts, Terrence had 1. Okay, he rather Earl. That's cool. But you can't get mad that people say you rather Earl because you know it was easy. You didn't want to fight Bud. You know why now people really can say it? Because even after you did that, you still had an opportunity to fight Bud on the instead he picked Aveneza because you said no. And your own daddy said that. So I mean, you missed opportunity. But now you mad because somebody feel like they your equal. I mean, yeah, I don't get it. But either way, y'all, that's what's going on with them. I did drop the link if y'all wanted to get in. I know a couple of people had something to say. I think they on Boost Team. Come on, feel free. I'm just telling the truth. I just told you the I'm gonna say I'd rather say the cons. Boost is in a slump. How do you get him out the slump? He ain't going nowhere until he get out this slump. How do you get him out the slump? Yeah, I'm yelling because this shit is stupid. You know what I'm saying? This shit is stupid. It's crazy. I do not dislike Boots. I want him to do well. But how do you get him out the slump? If don't nobody want to fight you. It sound like to me you gonna have to start paying people more to fight you. Hell, ain't that what Canelo saying about Crawford? You gotta pay me 150 to face this dude. That don't even make sense to a lot of people. 150 just to fight little easy work Crawford that you said was easy, but he won 150, and you're gonna pay him 200 million to fight Benavidez. And because you asking for so much money, we all concluded you must be scared of him. You must know it's not an easy win. You must see a loss to them. That's why you want the money. Because, hey, nothing feel better than a loss when you can stack millions on top of that loss. That's what I see. But if he was such easy work, why don't you just knock him off for 30 million? That'd be easy. Turkey can make that fight like that. But I suspect Turkey gonna call your bluff. Then if he don't fight Bud after that, then we know what it is. That's why I say you can price yourself out of a fight by offering little money or asking for a lot of money. And to me, the reason why Boots is in the predicament he in is because he priced himself out. Y'all don't have to listen to me. Like I said, my advice, you don't have to listen to me, but this is friendly, constructive criticism or advice. You need to get a person who can visualize the future. Somebody who could be like a publicist, got a creative mind like a publicist, but also a sharp, in tune mind like a manager. Somebody who knows the shit both ways. And then get that person to sit down with you when you're about to make a final decision and map out and visualize and contemplate all the things that can happen negative and all the things that can happen positive. Basically, ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? And if you think about the worst and you think about it, and you be like, oh, I'm cool with the worst, then good, go forth. But a lot of us can look at this and say, man, you was making one bad move after another. And Norman Jr., you gonna have to look back on this and say, hey, that was 4 times more than what I was getting paid before. I probably shouldn't have been more pig-headed. Probably should have took it. Those are, y'all got to make y'all choices in that. But I think with Norman Jr., he's young. He got time on his hand. Boots, you ain't got much time. You still young, but you ain't got much time left in the 147. So I was just asking y'all, was this a wise decision on both parties? How do y'all feel? Which one is more desperate or needy? And what could possibly be the reasoning for why they make the decisions that they make that obviously don't conclude in nothing advantageous for either one in this case. So that's what I was saying. But let me give y'all some much needed updates. William Sabata will face Cambosos or Tevin Farmer in Saudi Arabia. So what do we do know gonna happen in this fight? Tevin Farmer is a great fighter. He's actually pretty good. He's gotten older and he could have fell off though. Cambosos, he's all right. He's a good boxer and all that, but hey, Devin wiped him real easy. William Cepeda is tough. But what all three can look forward to is that they're gonna make a gang of money in Saudi. So, hey, like I said, nothing helps you cure or take a loss better than stacking millions on top of it. I'll take a loss for millions. So I say good for all of them. They're still growing in their career, but they're not household names. And they about to get a bag. So good for them. Boots can't seal a deal with no one. That's bad for him. Eventually, Eddie Hearn is going to drop him. All you got to do is ask Andre. Eddie will do it. And he would do it respectfully. I didn't see nothing negative about what he did with Andre. Andre won't out there mad and fussing. Hey, he did the best he could. He couldn't get him a fight. And that's what's going to happen to Boots. So, again, he's in a slump. What y'all want to do? IBF scheduled a purse bid for Boots and Chimichanga. Again, before anybody feels sorry for Boots, he let the day come and go without putting a request in to fight somebody else. So when Boots get out there and tout that, oh, he really wanted to fight somebody else and this ain't fair, he didn't. It's all cap because that day came and went, and I want y'all casuals especially hear this. He could have put a request in. He can't say what they was gonna say. They could say no, they could say yes, but you gotta try. He could have put a request in. That would have showed the boxing community he really do want to fight somebody else. But he didn't. He didn't. And if you don't, what's gonna happen? You gotta fight your mandatory. And then y'all got less than 30 days to get the deal done. Chimichanga, somebody he beat 19 months ago. But he also exposed Boots in that fight because Boots could not cut out the ring. And that's all you had to do to get to that dude. That dude took Boots to the distance because Boots couldn't cut out the ring. Maybe Boots had a bad night that night. I don't know. But before y'all start boo-hooing, that is the absolute truth. That fight is probably gonna be considered boring by most boxing enthusiasts or fans or whatever. And no one was asking for it. Nobody want to see it. But that's Boo's fault. The, going back to what I said, decisions that he makes. That's his fault. WBO orders Crawford and Fundora for the unification fight. It's either gonna be 2 or 3 belts. Everybody want to make hay to the fact that Crawford Fundora is gonna drop that belt. I don't care either way. They either walking out there with 2 belts, one of them gonna be unified, or if there was a draw, nobody won or whatever. But one of them more than likely gonna be unified, and they either gonna have 3 belts or they gonna have 2. However they want to do it. If Fundora drops the WBO but still has to fight um somebody, well, he gonna try to fight Spence. That's what people think gonna happen. That because Spence has already let it be known that he want to fight Fundora. So I mean, you gonna miss an opportunity to gain 3 belts. As we can see in boxing, it could take you years or decades before you can get a fight for a champion. Look at Boots. How long Boots been fighting? Boots been fighting according to Bozy since he been in Pampers. Boots been trained like every other young little man and went through amateurs and came pro. Boots was a pro at least by the time he was 18. So if Boots is 25, and I believe he's older than that, how many years is that? That's like 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, almost 10. What is it? When he became pro, because I don't know how old Boots is. He could be 25, 26, 27. He one of those. But he been fighting for a long time. A decade is a long time to fight. A decade. And you got one belt and you got it through the mail. So why you pussyfooting around? That's a long. Boots, I've never known him to be at 140. So he been fighting almost a decade, if not a decade, professionally. And we know that men still feel like he ain't even 30 yet. And he fight at 147 as if he gonna be able to do that forever because he's not a skinny mini. Like George Kambosos, you can almost bet your bottom dollar he could stay at 135 for the duration of his career, or 140, because he's a little guy anyway. He probably worked like hell to get to the size he is. Boots, you don't have that kind of luck. You're not gonna be 147 forever. And these years are just flying by. So I don't know. He can't seal the deal. On Canelo's undercard, Rolly Romero faces Manuel James. People are telling Rolly might not be the best fight coming off your loss to Pitbull Cruz in September 14, T-Mobile Arena. But his career is hanging in the balance from what a lot of people say. He's going to be judged harshly or cruelly. Like, do we hang it up? Do we continue to box? I don't know. Shaki Foster gets his rematch with Robson Consecal. Consecal is a great fighter. I like how he fight. He's a dog in there. So anybody who wins over him, you got props. And I ain't just saying it just because it's Shakur. Oscar Valdez put up a good fight with him, but Oscar had popped and nobody did nothing about it. So nobody was feeling the results of that fight anyway. You know. But Robson Kaseko on November 2nd, 2024 on ESPN Plus. They're gonna be fighting out of New York. So I'm definitely gonna see that. I didn't even see the first fight, so I guess I got my homework. And Israel Madrimal is kind of demanding a rematch with Crawford to recapture his WBA junior middleweight title. I can't be mad at that either. If you want a rematch, you say, stomp your feet, light a match. Say it with your chest. You want the rematch. He's not wrong for asking for a rematch. So I'll say what y'all think, but I do have what I think, how I would approach it or what I would be thinking, but I'm not Crawford. But I cannot be upset or call it negative or anything if Matt Jamal wants to rematch. So I think if Bud wants to, it's cool. It's cool with me. But I don't think I don't actually see a point. But if Bud want to do it, that's good. I told y'all, whatever Bud decide, I'm in support of. But if he wants to do it, then cool. You guys hit that like button, please. Um, how I see it is, and I'm talking about Matt Jamal, you had the opportunity the first time and you chose to faint all night. Now that was your choice. And I'm sure any fighter after the fight, they go back and say, man, I should have did this or I could have did that. There's always little regrets like that. Matt Jamal probably feel like, oh shit, I should have just, cause I ain't know he I ain't gonna say feared him, but Bud was awfully cautious with this one. So now he knows that Bud thinks he's one of the toughest fighters he've ever faced. Now he wants a rematch. I want a do over. That's basically what he's saying. I want a do over. Bud clearly won, but he didn't win in spectacular fashion like he always wins. So a lot of people look at it like, this guy won. Plus, he made it to the end. As Bud kept telling y'all that he don't look for the knockout when he go fight. I mean, if he smell blood in the water, that's his only thing. He knows when he got his opponent hurt and he go in to demolish him. You have a lot of fighters out there who can't seem to pick up when they got their dude hurt or their girl hurt. They don't pick up on it and they just let the person make it. And then now you gotta fight so many more rounds when you could have ended it just then. Bud is not that type of fighter. If he smell blood in the water, he coming to destroy. And he know for some reason he's better at picking that out. That's not that's not nothing to praise Bud about. That a lot of fighters can't do that, and a lot of fighters can do it. I'm trying to think of somebody. Tank Davis is like that. He knows. He already know before it happened. He's the best set and trap type person or boxer that I've seen compared to all the weight classes. Who else? Usyk knows. He knows when he got you hurt. He go in for it. Um, but there's other fighters who don't know. Like they just can't. Like Lubin hurt Fundora, and he took his foot off the gas a little bit, and I don't know why. But, y'all get the gist. So now that Matt Jamal's had time to reflect and realizing what he could have, should have did, and now he knows that Bud feel like he's a formidable opponent. He wants to do over, and like I said, Bud want to give it to him to school with me. I personally wouldn't give it to him. I keep moving on. Bud gotta secure whatever legacy future that he want for his career. But I mean, I'm not mad at my Jamal for asking for the rematch. I ain't mad at that. That's nobody fault but Matt Jamal's that he didn't let his hands go. Basically, like I said, basically asked for a rematch. Uh, you thinking his calculus is he thinking he'll do better. Oh, now I know he know I hit him hard. Now I know because maybe he's just not a person who can pick up when he hurts somebody. Maybe that is it. Bud make it hard because he don't he don't he has a good poker face, but Matt Jamal now knows that he could have hurt Bud, and he was a tough fighter for Bud. So now he wants to do over. So I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. But you gotta also take into consideration that Bud peeped your game too, Matt Jamal. He peeped your game. And just like you will elevate yourself and go on a different level the next time y'all face, so will Bud. And so to me, that's the same fight. And that's why I say I ain't pressed for the fight. Move on, bud, because it'll be the same fight. He gonna up his level, bud. You gonna up your level. So what y'all fighting for? No point. No point. It'd be the same fight. And I feel that Bud won that fight easy. So in the end of the day, my conclusion is Boots Ennis and team. You guys got to get y'all somebody on your team who can visualize the future out and weigh the pros and cons properly. And you got to give on something. I could say the same thing for Norman Jr. You got to give, but Norman Jr. is young and he keep fighting and keep beating people down like he do. He may get to that point. And Boots, you're not young. You're getting older. And you are a young man in life, but in boxing time, you get old because you will not stay in that weight class not much longer, and you don't want to leave the weight class having only gained a belt through email. If you want undisputed, you got to do something outside the box. Ain't that what you always talk about? Then Devin go down to Australia to become undisputed. Then he take a pay cut. Cambosos was making 10 million plus for the fight. Devin was making maybe 2 or 3. We knew more of Devin than we did of Cambosos globally. We knew more about Devin. So I'm just saying, you gotta think outside the box, Bruce Anderson team, and stop misleading, because every time y'all do that, I think your whole career reputation takes a hit. That's what I think. And it's not, I repeat, not necessary, because you are that great of a fighter. It's not necessary. But to each his own. See how y'all see it. That's all I have until Monday. Peace. Hey, before I leave, y'all run out and get y'all goat shirt. They come in different colors. Grab you some hats. I got different colors here. Y'all see the hat I got on today. That's just it right there. I got some cowboy shirts. I got redskin. I got so much in that digital store. I'm apologize. Hold on. The where to get to the store is running at the bottom of the screen. These shirts, cute little shirts, you know. Uh, so if you guys want to go into the store and find some goodies in there, we got center candles, we got phone case covers, we got Republican shirt, Democrat shirt. Nothing negative in politics would come on the site. It's stuff like always a Republican or Democrat for life, something like that. I don't have any gloves yet. I got some hoodies. I got some sweaters. I got some skull caps. I got some like 420 paraphernalia. Uh, just a whole lot there, and even some Chuck Taylors. I got some shoes with the New brand. I got a lot of New brand clothes. Like I said, everything y'all see me put on is from the store. So head over there and get your shop on. The Jessica, welcome to the building. Salute Miss T in chat. Yeah, I'm on my way out the door. Said peace and blessings. Y'all can look back on it. I try to keep the show short and sweet. Unlike before, I used to have hours and hours and hours, talking all the time. But now it's short and sweet. Y'all think about what I said about the Boost Ennis thing. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. And to Boxing Wizard, no, I could talk firm, but I ain't mad. I mean, your opinion is your opinion. I'm thankful that you came through the show and all that. If you on Boost team, get back at him. Tell him somebody suck over there when it comes to make a decision, because you always, his team and him is always a day late, a dollar short. He cannot continue for another year, 2 years, or whatever of not being able to secure an opponent to fight him. He can't go on like this. So something gots to give. Till they realize that, that's them. But don't get mad if we call it the way we call it, and stop misleading, because now everybody know you a misleader. And I'm saying that nicely. We could say liar. Everybody know that you lie about stuff that go on behind closed doors. Stop doing that, because it's really not necessary. And when we bust you out, again, it's a hit on your reputation as a fighter. All you got is your name and your reputation. Don't destroy it on purpose. And do understand, people, that you can price yourself out of a fight by asking for too much or offering too little. You can do it. That can go either way. Sometimes you give them an offer they can't refuse, and they be like, "All right, fucking shit, I can't, like, give me $1 million to fight anybody. I can't refuse it. I'm just gonna have to have a black eye, busted lip, and broke teeth or whatever. I can't, because when else I'm gonna get $1 million? If somebody laid that on the table. But if you say, not only if you lose, you got to work for me, and I ain't gonna pay you for 2 years, but you're gonna do some hard work. You're gonna travel when I want you to. You're gonna go be our mouthpiece. You're gonna go do. Then I'm like, hell no. Then I gotta be like, yeah, I cannot take that off. It depends on what else came with the offer. But since we are never, and this is to the casuals especially, since we are never ever gonna be in those rooms when they negotiating and making these calls and doing this business, keep it simple. As far as what we as fans get into, okay, I would never have said nothing about the fight or nothing if the narrative didn't turn to, oh, they declined to fight, don't nobody want to fight me. Then the person that you said declined comes out and said, that's not true. That is not what happened. We made a counter offer and you guys ignored us, you ghosted us. That's a whole lot different than they declined, they don't want to fight me, they duck it. So stop it. Stop it. You're ruining your career before it can really, really blossom. Get somebody smart over there.